Bants or bullying, bants or bullying. We're playing a game called Bants or bullying, bants or bullying, bants or bullying. It's rarely bants, it's usually bullying.
So it is now noon by the time I arrive back at the Grim Coast. I have died, and so now we have to roll a d6 to see what bad thing happens. 2. Oh, okay. I have -1 move in combat until I win a combat. Okay. I can see that stinging, frankly. Yeah. I can see that stinging. Slow forever. Okay. Okay, though. It's noon. It's daytime. I don't see any point going back to the tree. We can't, by the description that we've been given, we can't cross the water during the day anyway. It could have been worse. 4 to a 5 is take +1 harm in combat. 6 is flipping hell, -1 stamina, only roll 1 dice in combat. So we are going to move in the early afternoon. We're going to head back to the village, where we are going to search, I think. I didn't pick up the healing vials last time. Recover 2 health at any time during exploration. Inside the clearly abandoned village with signs of recent villagers, the quiet as a grave place, we are able to pick up 2 healing salves. And as we do, the sun sets. It is now night time. I clear the clock and we are in the haunted death village at night. I'm just going to quickly take a check and see if I have something I can use to represent potions. Oh God, I've got a harm token. Ooh, here we go. That, I believe, was a 13th age symbol for the evil god. Or no, it was one of the cities when we're doing 13th age. So the good news is I'm not going to instantly use my 2 healing potions. Love finds a way. Nearly night time. Yes, we can see our boaty boy again. You are absolutely correct. We can go and see boaty boy. But it is night time in the village. So, oh no, that is the wrong one. Night time in the village. There are drag marks leading to a locked cellar door. There's a delve and there's a fight. I am not minded to have a fight because I want to go and get my magic ring, given I died off a cliff to get it. But we should remember that there's stuff here to come back for at night time. So we move to area 4. We jump on the boat with our good mate, the Bone Man. Cross to the other island, to the ruinous camp. Oh! Which is different at night. Oh, for goodness sake. No, I'm not making out with the boatman. We've had this discussion before. He's a professional. He's here to help me get to dangerous locations. For all we know, you know, he might not even be interested. I'm an orc after all. I could search here, or I could learn here to increase my lore. And given it's night time, learning, searching and increasing my lore would click me. I can spend the night here, basically. Professionals really love to. Oh, for goodness sake! I'm really glad that the video on demand stuff that I not video on demand, but you know what I mean. The video for this is not going to pick up the filth that is being spewed in my chat right now. And that's not a metaphor. So I'm going to do the search and the learn, which means I'm going to tick the clock up twice. Flip to sun comes up. As we are looting the Necromancer's camp, like proper adventurers, I get another 2 healing vials, which is nice, and I increase my lore by 1. Necromantic scribblings of a ritual committed in secret, a trap laid in the graven keep for an unsuspecting lord. So this is the Necromancer who did whatever it is that caused the lost knight to run away. So I'm going to get an extra point of lore. Let me just find that. Put me up to lore 3. We haven't needed lore since that whole, sacrifice to the dark gods bit we did earlier with the tree, have we? Which got us access to my good mate, the boatman. But more importantly, we get another 2 healing potions, which now that we are down to 8 health permanently, feel like an even better choice. Then daybreak in area 6, the Necromancer and his skeletons, or her skeletons, have come back from whatever the hell it was they were up to. So we peg it across to area 7. It's still daytime, and we grab our sun-scorched ring. Given that I've already ticked for the fight, I'm not going to tick again. I'm going to find out what the sun-scorched ring does. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. So this is my first bit of actual treasure. Sun-scorched ring. When I have less than half health, +1 harm to undead enemies. Okay, that is quite nice. Frankly, given how often I am on low health because of my poor risk management skills. We have indeed, they cheesed it. We've cheesed it. We don't know the Necromancer's gender, whether they're a they. Good point. Feels like night is actually less scary than day, says John. I'm more worried about what the Necromancer is up to during the day, frankly. Day is awful. You can't even see your boat, boy. Yeah, thank you. I'm not even sure I can get back across the island. Has the boatman got a scun? I'm not reading that out. I'm not reading that. I'm not proposing to the boatman with the sun-scorched ring. Thank you. So let's have a quick look at utility. How utilities work. We've looked at weapons. Utility gear. The engraved can have 2 pieces of utility gear equipped at a time. So I don't see any downside to wearing the sun-scorched ring. Let me just read the flavour text on it. Fire magic was declared forbidden on the Grim Coast just before the dead took the keep. The bearer of this ring is a traitor to the realm. Okay, so the knight... Oh man, he is such an Empire character. The Dead Knight. I'm sorry we fell off a cliff together. He's clearly been using dark magic to fight the Necromancer and the undead. The idiot king has declared fire magic to be illegal. The undead have risen up and killed everybody. And this poor knight, who's had a fatal encounter with an orc boy, was the only person fighting against the forces of evil. Could I find the page in the rules about romancing NPCs? This is not that game. The knight was a traitor. Ah, right. But we are back where we fell off the cliff. It is daytime. I see the words faded journal. A faded journal, the last entry swearing an oath against any who defy the grave. First the traitor, then treason. That gives me +1 lore, which is nice, and gives me a little bit more insight into the knight. Although I have to say, I would probably have appreciated it more if it had been spread out across like 8 or 9 pages, maybe, scattered in various locations around the camp or perhaps the island, and I would have encountered them in order and learned his story that way. Traitor with no pattern. This is bordering on bullying what is happening in the chat right now. I'm quite enjoying this. I'm happy to keep going. I'm going to keep going for a bit longer, so screw it. So there we go. So we have found the Knight's Journal, which brings us to about midday. We move back to the Necromancer's camp. So, serious question. We know the Necromancer is a wrong-un. You are not enhancing my role-playing experience, Mike. It is not immersion. So we know this Necromancer is a wrong-un. Or we're pretty confident this Necromancer is a wrong-un. They've got 3 skeletons with them, which is rarely a good sign. Should we bash their heads in? Fight the ball down, says Scott. Yes, definitely. Oh, Bin, you're terrible. You're all terrible. A hard yes. I'm assuming that hard yes is about the fighting the Necromancer, not romancing the boatman. So, we have we're doing it. We're doing it. We are batting the Necromancer's head in. Ah, yeah, that is a good point. Liam points out that we are still at a movement penalty from having died earlier. The problem is, I don't know if any fights are easier until I start them. Romance the boatman with a bouquet of Necromancer. Apparently Mike is going to write a rune adventure which is solely about romancing that poor boatman. Right, I've had enough. We're going into combat. We're going to fight the Necromancer with -1 move. People are going to have to remind me that I've got -1 move. I'm not too worried because there is a single dice roll that I have that gives me move 2. I'm a bit worried. So, Necromancer at B3. I start at C4 and we need 3 Skelly Bobs. So let's pop into the sideboard. I don't need Lost Knight anymore. I have a handy little Necromancer there. I have a skeleton. I have some skeleton tokens. Let me just grab all of that. Pop back to roll 20 and hopefully chuck everything down. Right, I don't need that. So let's have a look. No, let's set the skeletons up first. The skeletons are at A1, 2, and 3. Oh, no, A1, 2, and 3. A1, 2, and 3. And the Necromancer starts at B2. Okay. I will start with the war cry of my people, Gertcha. Actually, sorry, the war cry of John's people, Gertcha. The Necromancer has only got health 4. Yeah, it didn't work because I haven't put it on max and C. Okay, the Skelly Bobs likewise only have a health of 4. If we were playing properly on tabletop, I would be giving these ridiculous names. But so actually, give me a second. Curly, Mo. What is the name of the other? What's the name of the other one? Curly, Mo, and Trouble Down Pit. Larry, thank you. Larry. So there are our three skeletons. Larry, Curly, and Mo. Okay. Not that you can see their names, but they're definitely there. So let's have a look at the Necromancer then, see what we're facing. So the Necromancer has got a health of 4, but interestingly, they are a ranged DPS. B2? Yeah. Yeah, B2, not B1. Thank you, chat. Yeah. I was busy reading about the Necromancer. Under the grave dirt caked robes are the unmistakable clothes of royalty. The plot thickens. I'm a very poor quality cheat. Yes, I'm a terrible cheat. Oh God. The 6 is summon a skeleton. let's not worry about that right now. Oh, if the Necromancer deals harm, they recover 1 health. But the Necromancer is clearly royalty. Either they've stolen clothes from somebody or they are some disgruntled brother. I'm beginning to wonder now if maybe the Necromancer has a perfectly normal royal family name like the Lord of Infinity or Skeletor. Why people christened their younger children Skeletor, I do not know. Anyway, so that is quite messy. We need to kill that guy as quickly as possible, or as we used to say in Earthdawn, gank the Nethermancer. The skeletons' tattered clothing covers the animated dead. The style is unlike anything you've seen on the island. The Necromancer's brought their skeletons with them. So we need to gank the Necromancer as fast as possible. These things are pretty much similar to the Zealots, although not quite as dangerous. So I'm going to roll 2 dice, with left being for Curly and right being for Mo. So that is 4 and 5. And then I'm going to roll 1 dice for Larry. He's another 4. And let's find out what the Necromancer's doing. Not a 6, please. Oh, screw you. Okay, so. Not funny. So the Necromancer is summoning a 4th skeleton in an adjacent space. That's all they're doing, but they're summoning a 4th skeleton. You do special abilities now. So I'm going to put a 4th skeleton there, and we are going to call that skeleton Zeppo. Okay, they're not going to do anything this round. That much at least is good, because we're not going to be rolling for them. The other 3 are doing move 1, harm 1, and move 1, harm 2. They are going to try and get into my space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's much of a muchness. So rather than clump them all up, they're going to move around to there. Now, when I am on less than half health, I need to remember I'm doing +1 harm to everybody except the Necromancer. Okay. Necromancers are so good at making friends. Yes, quite. I assume you've seen the meme, which is Lord of the Rings. You have my axe, you have my sword, you have your brother. Okay. Not ideal. That is a 1 and a 6. So I can't use the 1 for anything. Okay. So the 6 is harm 3 and cleave. But I've got my Strider boots. So when I get no move from weapons this round, I gain +1 move. So I think I want to move to the side, wallop that skeleton as hard as I can, and do a point of damage to his mate. -1 move. Oh no! I can't defeat the skeleton. Sorry, I can't defeat the necro. I can. I have to roll exactly 4 to move. The Necromancer is never going to get closer than 2 spaces away from me. The -1 move means I can't move. Oh, that is bad. If they enter my space and they are same and adjacent, one of them is going to move into my space and just wallop me to death. I don't have to win it, I just have to complete it. So that's good, I guess. So basically, that is the end of the turn. They haven't reached me yet. I am so badly cursed I can't move. There's now 4 skeletons. I don't think I'm going to get more curses, John. I think I'm just going to get a different curse. So let's see what we're doing. Left, right, at the top here. So 1 and 4. There is no running away either, incidentally. And again, left and right. 4 and 1. And let's see what the Necromancer is doing. Okay, at least it's not another... At least it's not another summoning. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. No, not another 6, thank you, Liam. So what have we got? So one of the skeletons is moving 1. All of the skeletons are moving 1. And doing 1 harm. So I think that is, because they want to try and get as close to me as possible. 1, 1, 1, 1. Yep, okay. And the Necromancer is doing 4. He's doing move 1 and harm 3. The Necromancer wants to get within 2 spaces of me. So it moves to there. And blats me. Mike has apparently been so distracted in writing The Dreary Atoll, a boatman-centric companion piece to the Grim Coast, that they have made no bone jokes. I haven't missed the bone jokes. So currently this round, excitingly, I am taking, by my calculations, 5 health, 5 harm. 3 from the Necromancer, who is blatting me with death magic. 1 from the skeleton there. And 1 from the skeleton there. So I'm taking 5 harm. Okay. I'm going to be on half health doing +1 damage to undead fairly quickly, I feel. And I have got 5 and 2. So I can either do 3 harm and a cleave, or I can block 2 of the damage. And I'm very tempted to get my health down below half to activate my sun-scorched ring. Yes, as Liam is suggesting. So we are going to crazily assign the 5 to the Great Axe, which gives me move 1, which because of my curse is move 0. I'm going to do 3 harm. I'm going to take 5 harm. The Necromancer heals a point of damage but hasn't taken any. I'm going to do 3 points of damage to him. And 1 point of damage to him. And 1 point of damage to the Necromancer. Sadly, you can't drink the potions in combat. It says during the exploration phase. And I can't dodge out of the way because I can't move. I can move. No, I can't move. The Strider Boots give me +1 move if I don't roll any move. The things give me move 1. The curse is giving me -1 move, so I can't move out of the way. But I do 1 point of damage to the Necromancer. But because damage is done simultaneously, they're also doing me 1 point of damage and healing themselves. Which is less than ideal, I'm sure you will agree. I feel like I'm about to be rolling another curse in a minute. So, let's... but we're not down, we're not out. We're now at +1 harm to undead enemies. So, I'll go... I'll start from the bottom this time. 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's see what we get. 5 and a 4. 5 and a 4. And again for the skeletons. A 2 and a 4. And for the Necromancer. I've very much gone off the Necromancer, incidentally. I I'm definitely no longer interested in Necromancer. So what's the skeleton doing? Oh, right, okay. So the Necromancer is doing 1 point of harm at range 2 or 3. So the Necromancer is blatting me for a point of harm. Larry here is going to move 1 and do me 2 harm. The other 3 skeletons are going to do move 1, harm 1. So I'm going to move Larry into my space, where he's going to do me 1 point of harm. I'm going to move Mo down 1, where he's going to do me 1 point of harm. You can only have 2 people in one space. That is a rule I remember from combat. So Zeppo is going to stay where he is. And presumably, you're going to move down 1. So this round, I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4 points of harm with my 3 remaining health. And I can't attack the skeleton that is in my space. 5 and 3. Okay. The good news is I can activate my shield to block 2 points of damage of the 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm taking. The better news is that I can do 3 points of harm and cleave. I still can't move. Man, that not being able to move is bad. I'm pretty confident I am dead, yes. So, does it make any difference if I do it the other way? No, I need to roll... I basically need 2 5s. I need 2 5s or I need a 4. If I can get 2 5s, I can activate the Great Axe move and the shield move. But right now, I can't move. So consequently, I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 harm, block 2 of it. So I take 3. I'm dead. I keep forgetting I only have 8 maximum health. So I die. In the process, I kill one of the skeletons. I do 1 point of damage to everybody, but the Necromancer sucks my life force out and heals themselves 1 point of damage. I have to say, I am not coming back to fight that Necromancer. Not unless it turns out that I really, really need to kill the Necromancer. So, the gentle sound of... I should have killed the Necromancer on the way to the night, you know. Anyway, the gentle sound of seagulls, the sun rising in the east. Actually, getting ready to set in the west. Never mind. And we are about to find out what death curse I'm under. I'm still under -1 move until win a fight. Got to win a fight. Go to the village and do a fight. Yes, that is what we're going to do. So I move to the village. The village... Getting to the village, night falls. So let's find out what happens at the village at night. During the night, there is a fight. If I want it, a ghoul and 2 skeletons. I don't know how dangerous a ghoul is. The skeletons were at A1 and A2. The ghoul is at B3. And I start at C3. And I'm still going to have difficulty fighting. But right now, I don't think I've got anything to lose by doing that fight. All things considered. So, here we go. Skeleton and ghoul. Skeleton and ghoul. I'm kind of hoping the ghouls don't, do any of the traditional things that ghouls do. beyond, wanting to have fun. They can have fun if they like. Yes, I got the same curse bin. I got the same curse again, hilariously. But in some ways, while this curse is bad, it's not the worst curse that I could take. The other curses are +1 harm and 1 less stamina in combat, so they're pretty punishing. I think they're too punishing, frankly. What I'm kind of taking for this is, if I'm going to write my own stuff, I suspect you still need. I think you need a consequence for death, definitely. Otherwise, you're just respawning. But I suspect I would want to look at either not narrative precisely, but things like ticking clocks on and stuff. Feel like they might be less horrific, but perhaps I'm just not in the right Dark Soulsy kind of mood. So I've not looked at it intentionally. The Ghoul only has four health. Unnaturally resilient predators. They have a sixth sense for corpses, making them excellent trackers. Luckily, there's a horrible situation here where I can't move. -1 law is kind of such. Yes, interesting. But I guess the risk is it depends on. But to do that, you would have to make sure that you didn't have any content that was locked behind, any important content that was locked behind a law cap or anything like that. But I can see ways to do it. -1 law is interesting if the law is not integral to the adventure. If it gives you advantages, then all you're doing is losing benefits. Or if there's lots of different ways to get it. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with that. Both of them are going to be same and adjacent. Which means one of the problems I potentially got is when I get down to the last opponent, there is a very real chance that they're going to stand in my space and beat me to death. Have I needed the law? No, it's very true. I've got 4 law, but I've only needed law once, I think, which was, or maybe twice. I'll just quickly check before we start this fight. No, I didn't need law for the sacrifice. I couldn't remember if I did. The only time I've needed law so far, I think, was for the boatman, or for finding the boatman. So it's interesting. But that's just the way this has been set up. Anyway, I'm wittering away. I'm going to go top to bottom on the skeletons, left and right. So 2 and 1. Excellent. That feels like... actually, no, that doesn't feel like a great start because I have no ranged weapon. And let's see what the Ghoul is doing. Okay, the Ghoul is making up for that by doing a 5. Okay. So, 1 and 2. Move 1, harm 1. The Skelly Bobs are moving towards me. Getting ready to have a fight. And the Ghoul is doing a move 2. And he's going to try and harm me and do some health damage. I currently can't attack anyone. Johnny's saying a clock that adds a boss or what have you. I've certainly one of the other realms I saw being played by Spencer Campbell had a thing where at different basically it was a very cool idea. It's a prison on the side of a cliff that is falling off the cliff, and every time the clock fills up, it starts off at 20. Every time it fills up, it gets shorter, but the prison becomes more panicked. And sometimes that adds extra monsters to fights or creates new random encounter scenarios. So that's obviously one you can do. And the design notes themselves say the other type of clock you can do, rather than this one, which is tracking changing states to get you a dynamic feel, is a clock that just does something catastrophic once. And at the back of my mind, as soon as I read that, I had a vague idea for a realm in which an evil astronomer is calling down a comet. And when the clock finally fills up, the comet hits, and suddenly a whole load of the locations change completely. Anyway, I'm wittering on. Let's find out what I'm doing with my stamina. 5 and 6. Where were you when we were fighting the fucking Necromancer? Right, so 5 and 6 is a good one here. So that is move 1, block 2. That is move 1, harm 3. So I'm going to move it 2. That drops to a move of 1. I'm going to move it to there. I am going to do 3 harm to the Ghoul. I'm going to cleave to do 1 harm to the skeleton behind him. I'm hitting him so hard, he's smashing back into his mate. He is going to do me 2 damage. 1 damage. I'm going to block it with my shield, but he's still going to gain a health. That isn't dependent on him. Isn't dependent on him hitting me or anything. It's just an effect of it. He's going to get stronger, but he is fucked down to half strength. I've just noticed I'm on 0, so I'm just going to put myself back up to 8, and that is an excellent first round. Yeah. If I'd put the 6 on the axe, I wouldn't have had the movement because of that freaking death curse. So there we go. A good first round. We have battered the ghoul. We've hurt one of the skeletons. The ghoul is now going to move into my space, which is less than ideal, but whatever. So left, right, top to bottom. 6 and 2. Actually. 6 and 2. And Ghoulie McGhoul. Okay, Ghoulie McGhoul face. So what have we got? We've got the skeleton. Skeleton's going to move 2. That is the logical place for skeleton to move to, and he's going to do me harm 2. This skeleton on the left, however, has only got a move of 1. Moving down, he's going to come round and get me from behind. And the ghoul on a 5 is going to do move 2 into my space. Harm 1, gain a health. So at the minute, I am taking 3 harm. Battered the ghoul is not a euphemism. So let's see what we've got on our dice. Okay. That kind of makes up from having a good roll last time. I've got 2 and 2. That won't let me activate anything. But what I can do is swap it out for a 4. So I think I want to assign the 4 to the Great Axe, because that gives me move 2, which knocks down to move 1. Lets me get out of the space with the ghoul. Lets me smash the ghoul. The ghoul will do me 1 point of damage and heal itself, but I'll also cleave into the skeleton. And I think that is the way to go. So I back up thanks to my excellent Great Axe. I really like this Great Axe, incidentally, even though it's not brilliant. I do 2 points of damage, but the ghoul gains one health because of what he's done, so he stays on 1. He does me 1 point of damage, and I cleave into the skeleton at the back. What's this John is saying? If you're aiming for Souls-like, encourage dying so people get into the groove. Yeah. One of the things the prison adventure I was talking about earlier does is it, as you push through, it makes it easier to get back to the further along levels, but there's still stuff down at the bottom for you to explore. So when you are killed, going back to the starting position gives you an opportunity to explore more, and I like that as a setup. Anyway, here we go. We've got the ghoul down to a final hit point. I've still got hit points left. The skeletons are closing in on me, but I've got their number, left, right, top, bottom, 2 and 4. Oh, was that 2 and 4? Was that 2 and 5? At 2 and 5. I clicked too quickly there. So 2 and 5. And the skelly and the ghoul. Ghoulie McGhoul face is on a 1. Ha ha ha! Screw you. Oh, okay. So Ghoulie McGhoul face moves into my space. I can't hit him anymore. Skelly Bob Thompson moves down to there. Other Thompson. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong one. Move 1, harm 1. Yep. Other move 1, harm 2. So he's slowly closing in on me, but I've got his number. The interesting thing is, I think with the ghoul having rolled a 1, that as long as I can attack this turn, I can kill the ghoul. He has not moved in for a peck on the cheek. I would not romance a ghoul. I spoke too soon. I've got a 2 and a 1. Oh, Oh! It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. A 2 and a 1 can be summed together to give me a 3 to block. The ghoul and the skeleton are doing me between them 1, 2 harm. Is there something in this room that I would romance? I am feeling quite bad about the fact that the Lost Knight and I feel like there was a tension there, maybe, a bit romantic tension, and then we fell off a cliff together. So whatever. I might occasionally, I don't know, is this anime? I might occasionally sit with the ring and look moodily into space. No, I would not have romanced the tree. Thank you. Anyway, you're distracting me. There's ghouls to deal with extreme prejudice. Okay, so lefty righty. 3 and 2. And what have we got from the ghoul? Okay. So, the ghoul is on my space and is going to do me 1 harm. The 2 skeletons, one skeleton is going to try and move at my space but can't, so he's going to stay where he is and do me 1 harm. And the other one is going to move up. I can see a strategy here that might just work. Fingers crossed. So I've got a 6 and a 2. Now obviously that 2 is pretty much useless to me. But the 6 is harm 3 with cleave. So I take 2 points of damage from the ghoul and skeleton combo. I do 3 points of damage to the skeleton, smashing it. I cleave 1 point of damage to the ghoul, smashing it. And I cleave 1 point of damage to the other skeleton. I'm surprised. It is almost embarrassing. I'm going to have to let a cat in a second. It is almost embarrassing how happy I am about the fact that I have just battered 2 tiny little tokens with an axe. Go on then. I am having fun without you. A little cat might appear now. She has come in to see what I'm doing because she's heard me having fun. Right, we have won. Okay, we have a pretty bad skeleton this turn. He's moving 2, which will put him into my space, and he's going to do me 2 points of harm. I, meanwhile, have a 3 and a 2. I can't hit him. He moves into my space. I can't hit him. So I'm going to have to use my shield, I think, to block. Yeah, I'm going to block 2. Where is she? You can come here and say that to people. No, she is not. Keep your eyes open for her, though, because she might appear. So, the skeleton is on me. I have spoken too soon about my ability to kill this skeleton, I suspect. So, the skeleton gets a 3. That is move 1, harm 1. So it stays where it is, and it's going to do me a point of harm. Okay. Now we are talking. I have a 6 and a 5. I put the 5 into the great axe to get move 1, harm 3. I put the 6 in the shield to get move 1, block 2. That gives me move 2. I move 1 away from the skeleton, thinks it's got me, oh no, and then I axe it, and it takes 3 points of damage, going down while whinging about the fact that edged weapons are no good against skeletons. And it is doing me 1 point of harm. I've got 2 points of block from my shield. Fuck me. We have dealt with the skeletons. We have cleared the fucking death curse. And obviously there's no treasure. I have blaps it right in the eyepiece. What? Wait, I probably shouldn't have read that out loud. That's probably young people speak for something terrible, isn't it? Anyway, so I tick on. It's still night time. But we've won. We've actually won. We've defeated the skeletons and the ghouls. I should go back and fight the Necromancer now. I'm not going to. I'm staying away from that Necromancer. So let's have a look. That is this fight marked. Oh. If I want to delve here, I need the Necromancer's key. The treasure was the friend we made along the way, and I think at this rate, the only friend I still have is the boatman, who I could go and see. We haven't visited the boatman during the day, have we? Yes, see. Say hello to Mike. Go and see the boatman. I think... What do I think? It's going to be night time when I hit the keep, which is the only place I haven't been yet. Regardless of which way I go. We haven't visited the boatman. We haven't visited the boatman. We haven't visited the boathouse during the day yet. So, rather than dick around and waste time, I'm going to go to the keep. And before I do anything else, I'm going to drink a delicious potion, which will put me to 7. Now, I could drink a third potion to put me to 8, but that would be really wasteful. So instead, I'm going to very stupidly not be on full health. So let's have a look at this keep. We know that this is where the Necromancer probably unleashed their undead hordes to do something terrible to the idiot king who had banned fire magic. We are just travelling to Mysterious 5 then. Oh, the Mysterious Fire. Yes, the Mysterious Fire was number 6, I think, where the Necromancer was. So let's look at the keep. Graven Keep. A looming castle atop a hill, keeping an eye on the entire realm. It looks more like a tomb than a home. Tomb and home have the same number of letters. Ah. Day or night. The Graven Keep holds this realm's Rune Lord. Once they've been slain, carve their rune into your being, and your time in this realm has ended. Oh, right. Okay, so this is really interesting. So, if I have... So, there's 3 delves here, which means, because they're not fights, it means I can do any of them I want to. The first delve is do 2 fights consecutively, 1 against 3 skeletons, and 1 against 2 zealots and 2 skeletons, and then face the Rune Lord. If I've got Law 2, it is okay to fall in love with a... Tomb and Love have the same number of letters. It is okay to fall in love with a Spectre. Thank you. You've derailed me, Mike. But the second delve is, if you've got Law 2, you fight 3 skeletons and then face the Rune Lord. But if you've got Law 4, you know the path to the Rune Lord and may avoid all the enemies along the way, face the Rune Lord. So I think, particularly as we've been at this for a little while, I am going to drink my second potion, put myself back up to 8 full health, and we are going to fight the Rune Lord. Right, so let's have a look. A swirling storm in a night sky hangs eternally over a courtyard. An ancient armoured form assembles itself before you, a spectral glow beneath the plate. Cursed, enraged, you face the Ruined King. Bum, 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 bum. So the Ruined King is at C4. B2 and B3 have blocking terrain. And I start at A1. Right we are. Let's see how this goes. And then we'll come back here if we successfully kill him. Right, so let's get rid of this skeleton and this ghoul, because we won't need them. I'll just quickly delete all of that. I've realised that I've made a mistake by saying we won't need them, haven't I? Right, So there and there. And then we go and find the Ruined King on the sideboard. Yeah, I thought as much. Here's 2 little cards. I've got a little king thing for him. And let's have a look. Oh, I should have advanced the clock, shouldn't I? When we moved here. I think I forgot to. Anyway, so he's got 2 phases, but I'm going to cover that one up. I don't want to know what it is just yet, just when it triggers. So, okay, so he's got 7 health. He's not even as strong as the... right, okay. He's got 7 health in his first phase. Yeah, so he's got 7 health. He's undead. He's same with adjacent. At 0 health, he transforms into the Ruined King phase 2. The name of the king is Lost, as is his kingdom. The animated armor is rent open at the back. So he's been... So it's betrayal. Betrayal is a little bit of a theme here. He's been betrayed by somebody and murdered. You know, I wonder if I've got the story wrong. Maybe the Ruined King was the undead that the Zealous Knight was trying to kill. And that's why he outlawed fire magic, because they become undead. Anyway. So let's see what the Ruined King is doing. These holes in the ground, or whatever they are, pillars, are potentially going to be a problem. I can see a ridiculous farcical situation where I'm running around. Yeah, Lost is a terrible name. Very funny. Metaphor is a special tool writers use. Oh, hi, Ed. You've caught us just for the final fight of Rune. You've missed some hilarity with a tentacled tree, a very ill-advised sacrifice of blood that allowed us to meet my new boyfriend, the spectral boatman. We had a duel on top of a cliff, Kurosawa style, which ended with myself and a knight falling to our deaths in the water below. We had a horrendous fight with a necromancer who basically sucked all of my life force out of me. We've just had a little fight with a bunch of undead in a village, and now we are facing down the Realm Lord of the Grim Coast, who is the Ruined King. And a phased fight, yes, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I said it. If I survive here, the boatman and I are going to have a final sort of scene in which we talk in metaphor and innuendo about the fact that we can never be together, and then I will fuck off to another realm to try and gain more superpowers. Anything to get you people off my back. And get the boatman onto his. Oh, yay! Anyway, I'm rolling a dice. Let's see what the Ruined King... The Ruined King is opening up with a 1. He is going to move 1, do 2 harm, block some damage. So he's taking it cautiously at first. This animated suit of armor is taking it cautiously at first. So there we go. I've got a 5 and a 2. The 2's useless, but at the minute I'm not in any immediate danger. 1, 2, 3. I think the king is going to come this way. Always go clockwise if in doubt. So then I roll my dice. I've got a 5 and a 2. Interestingly, and then kiss. When you are summing, basically you have to take the number you've got. So adding the 5 and the 2 together doesn't work, because neither my great axe nor my shield need a 7. But again, on the 2-handed weapons I've seen, they all have a top level that says 7+. Again, designed to make you do massive slow blows in which you don't move around, which is very interesting. Anyway, so I'm picking a 5, which gives me a move 1, block 2. He's a melee fighter, same and adjacent, so I don't see any reason why I'm not going to move round to face him. Every puntsman I've ever met has very nice... We are fighting a giant suit of animated armor now, and I will thank everybody in chat to focus on the fact that we are fighting a giant suit of animated armor now, and we will leave, and I will allow 5 minutes at the end for people to talk about romancing the spectral boatman, all right? Yes, like I say, in this case, it doesn't work. You have to take the number you get summing. So anyway, so there we go. So the first round, we are moving towards each other in slow motion. Then the king shifts to a 4. Okay, so he's continuing to move forward. He's got harm 2, block 1. So he's going to block me. Oh, okay. So he only does harm 1 if he charges me on his move 4. But when he charges me, he's really hard to hurt. And then finally, he's got a sort of slow moving attack. Let's see what I've got. 6 and 1. Okay. Okay. So, move 1, block 2. The 1's no use to me. Or I could do harm 3 with cleave. The slightly annoying thing about the Great Axe that I've noticed in a couple of these fights, obviously, is its pants against the solos. Because this is obviously, I think I'm doing, because yes, that's right. If I compare it with the longsword, the longsword has 2 and 3 options on it, and while it doesn't do quite as much, it's better at moving around than the axe is. And the axe is good at fighting multiple opponents, but pants at fighting single opponents. Anyway, so I am going to move 1, block 2. Might as well. He's only got a same and adjacent range, so he can't attack me diagonally. Burley. I said we are focusing on fighting the Ruined King, thank you. Honestly. What are you people like? So we're continuing to eye each other in a menacing way. This will be where I overestimate everything and the Ruined King moves 3 and beats me to death. Right, the Ruined King is on 4. Move 1, harm 2, block 1. So he's going to move up to there. That puts us in melee range. Finally, he can't get into my space. He's doing 2 harm and he's blocking 1 point of damage. So let's see what I get this turn. Oh, 6 and 6. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Well, I'm not going to kick that out of bed. So that is harm 3, block 2. The king is doing 2 harm. So I'm going to... I'll ruin your king. Thank you, John. Pants against the solos is a classic choose your own adventure. Thank you, Liam. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to put this on YouTube, you know. This low quality carry on ruining, I suspect I will have to call it, or carry on up the grim coast. I'll need a picture of somebody with a sort of Kenneth Williams style, matron face, saying something like, scorched my ring. Anyway, I'll block your 2. I thought I was going to get away tonight without any of this stuff because David Dolan is not on the internet thanks to Norway being socialist or something. But no, thank you all for filling in for him. Anyway, let's get back to this. He's moved up. He's doing me 2 harm. I'm blocking the 2 harm, but my axe is doing 3 damage, a whopping 3 damage. He is now battered down to 4 health. I think this is going to be a piece of piss. Okay, he's heard me and rolled a 6. 6 is move 2, harm 3, block 1. He moves into my space. I can't hurt him in this space, but I can take a lot of damage from him. All right. 6 and 5. I don't see any reason to change the tactics. It's nice to see you as well, Ed. Theatre reviews. Of course, you're up at the Fringe, aren't you? So I am going to back up 1 as my movement. The Ruined King is going to do me 3 harm. I'm going to block 2 of that. So I take 1 point of damage. And then I'm going to do the Ruined King 3 points of fucking damage. Bosh. Take that. He's so much easier to beat up than the Necromancer was. And I'm absolutely confident that will remain the same when we find out what is underneath the Phase 1 card. So. Wait a second. Did I get his health right? Yeah, I did. Cool. Okay. We're facing off against each other in the crumbling castle halls. And he has now got a 1. Move 1, harm 2, block 1. Pushes forward, dominating my space. But I'm not worried. Since we got rid of that fucking horrendous death curse, my boots will always mean that I can get out of the way. So So I've rolled 2 1s. Summed together, that is a 2. And I think this happened in the very first fight, didn't it? Basically, the worst possible roll for me. But luckily, honestly, I have so made the right decision going with the Strider Boots instead of the Crown. My Strider Boots, no move from weapons this round, gain +1 move. I am moving back a space. The King is doing me 2 points of damage. I can't block it. That puts me on 5 health, which is annoying because it's not. If I still had 10 health, that would be half health, but I don't, so it isn't. So here we go again. I'm not worried. It's a temporary setback. Tie the laces of the Strider Boots together. No, we've done that. Okay, so he's got a 5. What does the King do on a 5? He moves 4. Does 1 harm and blocks 3. I imagine this in computer game terms is him sort of setting his shield and then rampaging forward like a juggernaut. He is undead, yes. I assume it's some sort of ghost animating the armor. And that means that if I take 1 more point of damage, my sun-scorched ring will activate. Anyway, he moves into my space and intending to do me 1 point of damage. I am not going to hurt him this turn, but I'm pretty confident that I can block the damage. Yeah, so 6 and 1. 6 and 1. Obviously, I'm going to use the 6 on the shield. I'm going to dodge back out of his space to make him work for it. Yeah, I might as well. He does me 1 point of harm. I block 2 points of harm on my shield. He's only got 1 hit point left. I only need to hit him once, and we've got him. So low, excellent. He's rolled a 3, which puts him on his slow-moving, focusing a little bit on damage and block thing. He's testing me out. 2 harm, 1 block. I've got double 4. Double 4 is reasonably good. It lets me use both my shield and my great axe. So I'm blocking 2, which takes care of all the. Oh no, he moves into my space. I forgot about that. Is the aim of the quest to find some lotion for the sun-scorched ring? I love you very much, Ed. If you want to scroll up chat, you will find 90% of all of the jokes about sun-scorched rings have already done. Oh yeah, of course. An ancient ring, you need lotion to get it off your finger, of course. You've set them off again. Right. You've made me forget what I'm doing. So I'm blocking. He's doing me 2. Sorry, no, I'm not. 4 and 4. Move 2, harm 2, block 2. So I move to there. He does me 2 harm. I block the 2 harm. I do him 2 damage. He blocks 1 of the 2 points of damage. And the armor plunges to the ground. And gets back up again. Okay. This is not okay, this, you know how you have those monsters that get less bad when they are bloodied? He is clearly not one of those monsters. Okay, he stays undead, which is good. He increases to health 12. He increases to health 12. He now rolls 2d6 and uses the highest. And yes, John, I've just noticed he summons skeletons. Whew, give me a second to go and get some skeletons. Lip. Okay. I'll bring some skeletons back. Now, the good news is, because of I say good news, our good news here is that because of the shape of the room, there's only some places where he can summon skeletons in a way that matters. And I might be lucky. I might be able to kill him before he can summon any skeletons. even though he's rolling 2 dice and using the best one. So let's see how he's starting. 2 and 5. I should have kept my fucking mouth shut. He is starting by summoning a skeleton. It has to go in an adjacent space, so that kind of means behind him. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. The good news is he hasn't moved or harmed. The bad news is I notice his space has now become 2. His range has now become 2. He can probably hit me anywhere. I'm not reading out any of the things you have suggested for Alexa, but yes, John, I might well need lotion after all. I've got a 3 and a 2. So, the good news about the skeleton summoning is he hasn't moved. He isn't doing me any harm. So, consequently, I can sum the 3 and the 2 together to get a 5, which gives me move 1, which I'm not going to use, gives me harm 3, which I am going to use, and lets me cleave him into the skeleton behind him. So, we've given him a whack, and the really good news is, as long as he doesn't move and I don't move, there are no spaces for him to summon people in. Oh, yeah, good point. John has just pointed out that the Phase 2 King is a pure DPS monster. He can't block. And yes, Mike, I think this room is going to fill with skeletons. The problem is, when you're in the big areas here, he can actually summon skeletons in places that can get to you. So, let's see what he's doing this round. No 5s, please. Fuck off. Oh, actually, no, I want 5s, don't I? So he can't summon a skeleton. So let's find out what I can do. 3 and 2. It's the same again. 3 and 2 sum to 5. He's trying to summon skeletons. I do him 3 points of damage. And cleave the skeleton behind him. For 1. Okay, here we go again. Alright, now this time he's got a 6. So he moves 3. He rampages into my space. And he is causing me 4 harm. Can you not summon one in your square? Oh, that's an interesting question. I hadn't considered that. It does say any adjacent space. So I think you are right. I think he can summon it in my space. There we go. But it's still adjacent, so it still takes the damage. So I do have to actually roll. What it means is he won't move into my space. He's going to do me 4 points of damage. I'm going to do lefty righty for the skeletons. 3 and 4. Yeah, I think I might have screwed this up already. Because in theory, if 2 people can occupy the same space... Let me have another look at movement. Move to an adjacent space. Always move orthogonally. May enter the space of another character, but only 2 characters can be in the same space. Right, okay, yeah, so this is how it works. He is going to overwhelm me with skeletons. I'm an idiot. So, the king can't get into my space, but he's still got a 6, so he's doing harm 4. The skeleton on the right is doing me 1 harm, and the skeleton on the left is doing me 1 harm. So this round I'm taking 6 harm, which is enough to kill me. Okay. We rolled a 3 and a 1, which is not enough to activate my axe, but is enough for me to block 2 of the damage. I'm on 1 hit. My sun Scorched Ring bursts into flame. I'm now doing +1 damage. I need to do him 6 points of damage in 1 go. Pretty confident I've lost this now. As if to absolutely take the piss, the king summons a 3rd skeleton But at least he's not doing anything else. And then let's roll for lefty righty. 1 and 4. So 4 and 1. 1 is doing me 1 harm. 4 is doing me 1 harm. So as long as I can block this turn, I can survive. Yeah, never remembers the boots. I remembered them reasonably well right up until this very point. Oh. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay. So I've got block 2 from the shield, which blocks both the skeletons. I've got the 6, which is harm 3 and cleave. Cleave is 1 harm to enemies adjacent to the target. The Scorched Ring is +1 harm to undead enemies. So I do 4 points of damage to the Ruined King. I do 2 points of damage to the fella who is on my space, killing him. I do 2 points of damage to the other skeleton, killing him. And I do 2 points of damage to the skeleton behind him, putting him in half hits. Fucking hell. I take back all the bad things I was saying about how the axe wasn't good against a single opponent. So let's find out what the king does. He summons a skeleton in an adjacent space. The skeleton on the left gets a 3, which is move 1, harm 1. And I'm taking 1 point of damage this turn. The king's summoned, so he isn't doing any damage. And I've rolled a 6 and a 3. We may have him. So I put the 3 to block 2, which gets rid of the damage from the skeleton. I put the 6 to cleave 3, which does 4 points of damage to the king. And kills him. Doing 2 points of damage to... actually, no, that skeleton was the one that was just summoned, wasn't it? That was the one I just summoned. Yeah. So it would have been on 2. That one, however, pops like a boil. So give me a second. I'm not getting my hopes up just yet. Let's have a look. Slaying the Ruined King. The storm above passes. Light from the sun breaks through and burns away the armoured mass that was once the Ruined King. In the smoking heap, the glow of a rune calls to you. Carving the rune into your being, you feel a grip on the grave like never before. Ignore the first death coast you take when exploring a realm. So, in theory now, I keep this character, including the Scorched Ring, and I can go and do a different realm. And as I understand it, the plan is for the main release to have a sort of campaigny thing, or at least a make your own story campaign thing. But I really enjoyed that. Okay, yes, sorry. I kill the last skeleton easily. Actually, yeah, I kill the last skeleton easily. It is still night time, just as we arrive at the boathouse. But then, oh no, the sun rises, and myself and the spectral boatman share one terrible, despairing glance before they are wrenched away from me by the sun rising, and any romances you people were planning are just ruined. Oh, right, okay, that was interesting. So the star charts were available in the boathouse during the day if you killed a bunch of people. And that would let you use the boat that connected these two places during the day, presumably. Although we never had to come back from the island because I kept dying there. Anyway, very Lady Hawk. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mike, you write the Boatman campaign and I will do it on Twitch live as it happens for people, as long as it's a game and not just fan fiction. Right, that was a really fun evening. I enjoyed that. I've got a lot of ideas for making my own realms. I can heartily recommend the fun of doing this with a bunch of other people. I hope you're getting the most out of your 5 minutes of saying terrible things about of shipping. That's quite funny. Of shipping me and the boatman. The interesting thing, though, obviously, let me just get rid of the Ruined King and the skeleton, is the options for doing different starting weapons. So everything would have gone really differently then if I'd gone with the longsword of the erupting flame, which was the other one I considered as a starting thing, because there's no block on the two. So I've no idea how I would have coped with it, but I'd have had more move, I think, and I've been doing a lot more damage. But the problem is, I looked at the erupting flame spell, and it's very thematic, but deal 2 harm to everybody in the same space and adjacent is really cool. There's a lot of places, particularly in the early fights with the skeletons, that would come in useful. But if you assign a 6 to it, you do 5 damage and take 2 harm yourself, and I feel like I would have died horribly. Yes, Johnny is very good for doing layout and art, as you will see if we ever get Empire! Exclamation mark Troika done. Right, I'm going to call it there. I might play another one of these. There's a whole group of them that have been made by people on the Discord. Shield and Staff, yes. But again, I think what would be interesting is it would be the same problem I had, not problem, but the same situation with Great Axe and Shield, that there's no 1, 2, or 3 on the Erupting Flame, whereas there is a 2 and a 3 on the Longsword, meaning you'll be able to act more often. I have a feeling that the simplest setup is probably Longsword and Shield, but I got a lot of use out of the Great Axe's Cleave, more than I was expecting to. Anyway, we can chat more about these on Thursday if you like, John. Right, everybody, I had a lot of fun this evening. Thank you all for popping by. I'll let you know if I'm planning to play another one of these. It's a doddle to set them up on Roll20. And until then, I will see you all later. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bants or bullying, bants or bullying. We're playing a game called Bants or bullying, bants or bullying, bants or bullying. It's rarely bants, it's usually bullying.